Hello, everyone. This is Scott Geider with my very special co-host, Joanne Thomas, the co-founder of the Fantastic Horror Film Festival. Our special guest is a legend in his own mind, Tomas Boykin. Tomas, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you? Yeah. Dad, how are you?
Oh, I'm just fine, other than I'm sniffing too much.
Oh, God, you guys need to stop.
I've seen Nude Guns, and I thought it was rather weird. It's not really my cup of tea, but
kind of weird.
Did you enjoy doing that role in that movie?
Yes, I did. The good Reverend Dr. Cleophas Aloysius Doolittle.
A long name.
The way that role came about was I auditioned for probably about 4 or 5 other roles in that piece, and I just kept coming back, and I really wanted to do it. And so I think Joseph and Robert, they kind of came up with they came up with an idea. Look, Tomas, we really like what you've been doing, and we were wondering if we have an idea for sort of this minister, this over-the-top preacher, a la, I think it's Jeremiah Wright, the minister that got Obama in trouble during his campaign for the first time he got into office.
Correct.
And I said, okay, and they said, and we'll even let you write it. So everything you see from the good Reverend Dr. Cleophas Aloysius Doolittle, including the name, I put that together. I put that sermon together, and so we just had a blast doing it. And it had to be in the 70s, of course, and we had to tweak it here and there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I just basically misbehaved.
That was an interesting film, let's put it that way. It's Guzman is known for wacky movies like that, so it's nothing new in his resume. I liked it. Wow, quite some characters in that film. So
yeah, when I saw it at its premiere in Santa Monica, and that's 2010. And I had never seen it, and I was surprised at how many people seem to enjoy it. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the whole grindhouse thing and certain aspects of the horror genre. But man, people there that night, they were really digging it.
Yeah.
It just crosses all lines.
It does.
At least.
Now, you were born and raised in Philadelphia. Now, let me ask you this quick question. Normally I don't ask questions, but how did you ever get involved in acting? Would that have been after you moved from Philadelphia to California, or was it in your blood in Philadelphia when you're living there?
It was in my blood in Philadelphia, or I should say it was injected in my blood in Philadelphia. My dad was a musician, so the arts were in our house constantly. I knew I was going to do something in the arts, but I just couldn't figure it out. And I thought I was going to do music, but as it happens, a lot of the teachers that I had in the Philadelphia school system were frustrated actors. So we read a lot of plays when I was in elementary, middle school, junior high. I read a lot of plays, and so we would mount these plays, and it was a part of the whole reading curriculum. But I was acting so much before I knew I really wanted to do it, and then of course there was Freedom Theater, which I grew up with, and I went there, and there's Walnut Street Theater School, which I was there for about off and on for 2 years. Society Hill Playhouse, and all of this took place in Philly. So by the time I went to college, I had done maybe about 30, 40 plays. And even still then, I did not know. Acting was not something I didn't think, no one's going to actually do this for a living. And
Right.
when I went to college, I fell right into it again. Then after college, it just seemed to be the consistent. It seemed to be consistent throughout all of my life. Even when I thought I was going to do other things, like be a professional tennis player or be a musician or be an attorney, you know. Those are always acting. And I never really thought about the movies. I just thought that if I was really lucky at the point that I decided that I wanted to be an actor, that I might be able to living being an actor on the boards,
right?
Being in the theater. But it took me to New York, and from New York, that brought me here.
Huh.
You must have done some musicals back then, right?
Yeah, and I got my fill of them. That's an exhausting thing to do. And I did Finian's Rainbow. I must have had like 6 roles. I played a gospelier, I played a sharecropper, I played a geologist. Then I was a member of the chorus. I was a tennis player. I mean, you know, when you're doing something like that, when you're doing those kind of plays, what you end up doing is just to make sure you don't lose time or you're not late on your cues. You have 6 costume changes. You just put everything on.
I know that. I worked with a theater group in South Philly.
So you just put everything on, and as the show goes on, you peel them off. You know, and it's like, my God, that actor looks like he's losing weight.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I did some musicals, and I don't miss doing musicals. Not at all.
They're kind of hard to do sometimes.
You got to have the resets. You have vocal rehearsals. You have to do your singing, and then you got choreography. Then after choreography, then you have where you do normal text, you know, of the piece. You know, so you have the 3 different rehearsals, and it's like, oh my God, this is
way too much.
Yeah, it's taken up all of my life. But by the time I had done them, you know, that stuff gets into your system and you end up loving it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You made your motion picture debut, the way it looks, in 2001 in Among Thieves. Am I correct on that, or is IMDb not up to date?
No, that's it. That was, I did, before that I probably did about, 15 or 20 films that are just, I don't even know where to find them, the VHS, and just things I did in New York, some films, but the major one, yeah, it would be Among Thieves.
So what was your experience like when you're, like you already mentioned about being in films before, but did you know that this film was going to be able for people to see? Or was it like, oh, here we go again, we'll do this and we'll see what happens?
What, Among Thieves?
Yeah.
No, I was pretty sure that it would be seen, because I knew I think the director was John Battle, who I think is no longer here in Los Angeles. He went back to Michigan. No, they were pretty sure that it was going to be seen, and I was excited to do that. But yeah, that was a experience, and it took a while actually to show up on IMDb. And I had a copy of the film at one point, a VHS, and I haven't seen that film since, I believe, 2001. You know.
Wow. VHS. Imagine that. Oh man. I love VHS even to the day. I even have a VCR yet, and I have some old 80s stuff on VHS. Boy, I tell you what, you can't beat that view. I love that old, mucky, dusty, fuzzy feel of VHS. You can't beat it.
And I'll bet you still have an 8-track too.
Her and her wisecracking jokes.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see that film. I would love to see Among Thieves again, you know.
Have you searched for it?
Cool. Well,
Amazon,
yeah,
eBay.
What's interesting is that on Amazon there's a cover for it, but it's not the correct one. It's another film entitled Among Thieves, and it's a foreign film, so it's not the same one. I think it deals with art thieves, but this is a different story altogether. Our film takes place here in Los Angeles, so but I haven't been able to. If you take what you see on Amazon and those characters in, like that box or that cover for that DVD, does not match what I think they have our names on it, but if you go to the IMDb page, those people aren't in it.
Okay.
I think the DP was John Bergstresser,
yep.
I believe.
Director, yeah. The writer was John Battle, yeah.
The writer was John Battle.
Yes.
And I think Rebecca Klinger was in there, and Karen Silas.
That's 12 years ago, I believe that? 13 years ago? Wow.
Yeah.
Where does time fly?
Yeah.
You did a episode in the TV series Lucky Chance in 2008. Now, that was your first television situation, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what's that like?
Yeah, that was great. I got to work with some really good people in there. Andrew Howard, I got to work with Peppy. There's some night guys in there on that piece that just clicked. Pete Peppy, who runs Espionage Productions, and then there was also the director of Junkie, Adam Mason. Yeah, I met him there.
Yes.
So that was a great experience. That Andrew Howard, who was also in Junkie, he was in there. Lucky Chance. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. And they were, we were sort of fun. We were really creative and fun, and it was gritty. And at the time that we did that, I think that you would see these like little episodes, or during the episode of Bones or Law and Order, and so we would go to commercial. And the way it was set up is during the commercial for Bones or Law and Order, you would see the first episode, like the first ep of Lucky Chance, and then the next commercial, the next ep, and then it would go on for a few shows, I believe, of Bones and Law and Order. So it was a pretty cool experience.
Well, you were in a movie that I quite really enjoyed. You played Harrison Dent. Haunting of Winchester House in 2009. Yeah. I love these films. I'm a weirdo.
No, that's cool. I mean, Asylum they really put them out, and they have a healthy following and a great audience, and I just had a blast doing that too. It's really great to work with those guys. And Harrison Dent, they kind of let me go crazy with him too.
I'd say
he was a true eccentric.
Oh man, that's where I first noticed you. Obviously, I thought the performance that you did was outstanding, and it stuck out in the movie. I mean, you made your presence known for the way you pulled that character off.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I still get comments on Haunting of Winchester House, and we had a lot of fun, man. Michael Holmes was in it. Mira Kellerman.
Patty Roberts.
Now. Yeah, exactly. Directed by Mark Atkins.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. I remember that film because when we were shooting that, I worked out, I believe, 11 days on that, and when we were shooting that during that, so I think about that because, we were on the set and it was like, oh my God, did you hear Michael Jackson die? But it was, aside from that, it was a great experience.
That's another story that, the answers of Michael Jackson's death will never be answered. No. They have the guy in jail, but there's more to it that he's saying, and it's just part of my life died that day. Cause I'm 45, so I'm in 70s and 80s baby, so I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, so, that's weird. I mean, certain performers just are part of your life, and and then when he passed, it's just like, wow. I mean, you never expected it.
We'll never see another one.
No, never.
So how did you like working in Parenthood?
Loved it. Oh my God. First of all, the experience of working on Parenthood, working on a studio, like working on something just large. It's just there's money all over the place. And when I say money, I mean when we're not sure, it changes you.
They feed you, right?
Oh my God. I mean, it is unreal. There is, the days that I worked on there, the showrunner for Friday Night Lights came to the set with, his Emmy. So I got to see an Emmy. And, they feed you. And I'm not talking about feed you like, we're talking top of the line. They make Gelson's like lower level bodega food. I mean, this is just, oh my God, it was just great. I thought so much this will just stay in TV, And the cast, everyone working with CeeLo Green was just a blast. Everywhere where you go, there's a golf cart to take you there. And
spoiled.
I could. And when I think about, people who have gotten to do shows like that and maybe do them for 8-10 years, like CSI or something like that, my God, to see how they end up not doing anything else. I had a fantastic time working on Parenthood.
Look at Alec Baldwin. He kind of puffed up a little bit over the years from being on one of those TV shows.
I asked them, I asked the crew, I'm like, how do you deal with this food? I mean, there's like several booths. There's always somebody coming by with a tray of little, treats. And the treats are like maybe, a sushi hand roll.
Wow.
That would be a treat. I'm like, this stuff, man. If you can get a deal on TV full time, yeah, I'm going for it.
Damn right. You were in a film in 2010. I've never seen it, but I know it's pretty popular. I Am.
Yes. Yeah, I Am was another great experience. Went with John Ward. That was picked up by 20th Century Fox. What an experience that was. It's a film about subjects encountering the crossroads within themselves that deal with adhering to the Ten Commandments. And so, and I play God, unbeknownst to them, and I appear in everyone's life and are within the realm of their lives and what their struggles are. And written and directed by John Ward, and got to work with some great people in that production. John Ward, Stefan Heiss.
Professional baseball player, used to be Todd Zeal.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen this one, but I have it. It's weird. I get so many movies, it's hard. But now that I just remembered, I'm definitely going to check that out, because I kind of like them stories when you mentioned about you playing Jesus and being each part of their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a drama, but those movies interest me a lot as well. I mean, I'm not just strictly horror or thriller, but I enjoy some good dramas too.
Yeah, I've done comedy, and I enjoy doing comedy, particularly really rancid, dark, blue humor. I'm not much of a boy,
right?
Probably because I experienced it in reality in college with a lot of friends in college. Yeah, I enjoy dramas, and I Am was pretty much that. When I think about what we were able to pull off in that film, I mean, some people found it to be dark. I mean, it's not dark; it's just that it's serious. It's not a lighthearted film, and
right.
I think like the log line says, it pays to remember. When you hear God say something like that, it pays to remember. It gets your attention, and it was that's the first faith-based film I did, and it was picked up. 20th Century Fox picked it up for DVD distribution and Blu-ray, but it did not open at theaters in a way. It was picked up. It opened at churches.
Oh yeah,
so
that's right.
The film was shown at I want to say millions of churches, because the only continent that was where it did not show was Antarctica. It showed everywhere. Wow. I mean, there were probably about, I would say, at least 300 churches, 400 churches just in the state of California.
No kidding.
And so it opened on 10/10/10, October 10th, 2010. And from what I understand, the next time that those numbers would appear like that, 10/10/10, would be in another 300 to 400 years. So that was a big push for it, and it showed everywhere on that day, and from there it was released, through all of the secondary distribution levels, DVD, Blu-ray, iTunes. It was on cable. That was a great experience. It elevated my career to another kind of confidence in terms of pretty much being in every scene, and as John Ward would say, the guy. That was a different experience, and I'll always, I really appreciate that, the good folks out there at Mariners Church and John Ward and Bay Ridge, gave me that opportunity to do that.
Excellent. You posted something on Facebook, I think today. You tagged the movie Junkie.
Yeah,
2012.
Yesterday.
I've never seen this. I've yet to see it, and it's a comedy. Talking about I Am, and now going to this film, it's completely opposite ends of the totem pole. But your experiences in Junkie. Now, Adam Mason, I saw one of his films, I think it's called Pig. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That movie was way wickedly crazy. So I know Adam Mason's mind of storytelling is pretty wicked. Mm-hmm. But now this is a comedy. Now, what was your experience like with Adam Mason in Junkie?
I love working with Adam Mason, and I would do it again 1,000 times, and I hope he hears it. It was a true, he has got to be one of the coolest guys, calm, he never really gets upset, and he's just, that was another great opportunity. When I what happened was their lucky chance. Adam and I had decided that we wanted to work together, and then to be able to work with him on Luster. But Adam had pretty much handpicked myself and picked me and Michael Trey, an Australian actor who was in Lucky Chance. And so we were going to do Luster, but the backers wanted people who had bigger names. So we were out. And Junkie is really Adam pretty much keeping his promise that he would work with me again. And I so appreciated it,
right.
Because when I came on board for Junkie, they were still hammering out the script in many ways, and so that was just, when you get into those kind of situations, I gotta tell you guys, as an artist, you're watching a cake be made from scratch. And so it's really important to pay attention to knowing that you're in home and knowing that, oh wow, I'm experiencing something special. And I think the script was the second half. We were like maybe at page 70, and we were just workshopping it, and we rehearsed it. I just loved it. And we shot that film in 7 days. I think it was 93 pages. And it is, you gotta see it. It's everything about it, from the commentary. The reviews have been posted, so it's been well received.
So tell me what this ice cream for breakfast is about.
Another different kind of story. I play Clyde, a father who sexually abused his daughter when she was a little girl. And the title, Ice Cream for Breakfast, if you let me do this to you, we'll be able to have ice cream for breakfast. And it's it's a story about a father who abuses his daughter, and she grows up, and she reintroduces herself into his life after many years, and he doesn't even recognize her. And she basically wants to make him pay for his sins at gunpoint. And another dark drama, and Sean Vaughn, and our director, Ty Murphy, who also directed Lineage. I like to do a lot of different things. I'm not what you would call a genre performer. I'm not going to do one kind of genre. I'm trying to get as far away from the last thing I did as possible in my next venture,
Variety is the spice of life,
Yeah, and also too, it's just, I guess from doing, being in the theater, I had so much flexibility, and so work would get work. So someone would come to me with a play that was based on politics, then I would get another one that was based on family dynamics, and then another one that was based on race relations, and something else that was a comedy that dealt with sports. These were all plays, so your appetite becomes really developed, So Ice Cream for Breakfast came to me, I jumped at it, The same thing with Elegy for a Revolutionary, which was a piece that I was really blessed to be a part of, and that happened at the same time that I was doing Parenthood. And oddly enough, as much as I wanted Parenthood, I probably wanted Elegy for a Revolutionary more, because I knew I was going to, be using a South African accent, and it was going to be a period piece, and it dealt with the ANC and apartheid, and I was like, yeah, I got to do this. And then I ended up winning Best Supporting Actor award for California Film Award. So I'd like it to be all over the place. I want to do I want to have a really diverse body of work.
Awesome. Voodoo Possession in 2014. Ironically enough, I get an email from a distributor mentioning about its release, and but the question that I have for you, was this not called something else originally?
No, well, it in Europe it's a Voodoo Possession. Here it's Voodoo Possession.
Okay.
But no, originally that's just a film I never thought I would get. I went in for the audition for Happiness.
Right.
And I didn't think I was going to get it because, Jesus, everything is in Creole. So I just went in like a fool, and I just thought, okay, I'm never going to get this. I don't know a speck of Creole. So, but I ended up getting it.
Wow.
And then after I got the role, I thought to myself, shit, now I gotta learn Creole. I've got the script, and I got no English at all. That was a truly physical film to work on. You know, being possessed by voodoo spirits, there's no real way to choreograph those body movements. You know, you can't, it's not dance, it's something else.
Right.
And that something else is coming from somewhere else, and no one knows where that is. So it's you know, I did a healthy amount of research. Director Walter Boholtz gave me a lot of material to look at, and we developed a backstory for the character I play, Happy Man, whose real name, before he becomes possessed by voodoo spirits, is Patrice Benoit, and he was a school principal, and he lost everything in the great earthquake there in Haiti. And Aiden, who was played by Ryan Caltagirone, goes to look for his brother in this asylum, and that's where they run into, goes to look for his missing brother, and in so doing, he comes across this character, Happy Man, in this asylum in Haiti. And there I am.
Interesting. You're also in another film called Lazarus Rising in 2014.
Yes.
C. Thomas Howell and my brother from another mother, William DeCuff,
yes,
played George. What was your experience like in this one now?
Got the role. Got to go to Boston. And while I was there, I got to, you know, I spent about 3 weeks back in Philly.
There you go.
So I got to visit the family as well. It was great. Directed by John DePue, a great experience. I mean, John DePue is one of the nicest, kindest directors I've ever worked with. Just a pleasant experience, and a good group of people to work. I like to work a lot, and I want to work a lot. And I do think taste matters. I think taste matters in a large, large way. And I would love for my body of work to be much, much larger, but essentially I like to be in the movies that I would go see. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't crave to work, with, want to do a certain kind of work, but you're always doing another kind of work.
Right.
You know, and so I like to try to be in films. I would go see Elegy for a Revolutionary. I would go see I would want to see Parenthood. I would want to see Junkie.
Right.
You know, those are films that I would be interested in seeing. There are things I wouldn't do, though. I mean, I think for a lot of us, we attract the work we want.
Right.
Junkie was pretty much offered to me. Ice Cream for Breakfast was offered to me. And so I just got past the point of being surprised. I'm like, Steve, do you actually see me like this? You know? But now it's a compliment, you know? It's a compliment, so I love it.
Well, you shouldn't do anything you're going to be embarrassed by anyway.
Right. You know, you shouldn't do anything that and I don't want to do it mindlessly. You know, I never want to do any of these projects or any of these films with the same mindset that I'm making an In-N-Out burger. Never. You know?
Yeah, now, are you allowed to talk about The Orphan, A New Kind of Hero?
Yes, I can talk about The Orphan. I'm really excited about that. We are looking to start shooting late 2014. And The Orphan is a project that is kind of a sci-fi drama thriller. And I'm going to be working with Jermaine Malik. He and I are producing. Albert Barrera wrote the script. And these folks just basically found me online. Apparently I've got a decent amount of stuff online that people can see. And I read the script, and it's a great story. We're in the early stages of pre-production at this point. The character I'm going to be playing is Booker, who is kind of like a Morpheus from, like, say, The Matrix. And Jermaine Malik is going to be playing this character named Mikhail, who is blessed and or cursed with this particular talent of being able to kill people on sight with these unimaginable powers. And so he is sort of hired by this overseer political movement as an assassin. And what's found out is that there is another person just like him who has the same talent who is using it for evil. And so my character Booker tries to train Mikhail, or try to reprogram him or refamiliarize him with using his powers for good. So it's a great story, and I'm really looking forward to working on that. I have another one coming out that I'm working on as well, a Western called Charlestown, and we're in the early development stages of that, which is going to be for television. That'll be written, directed, and produced by Michael Mack, who I'm also producing with on that project, and I'll be playing a sheriff by the name of Joshua Charles, who was a Buffalo Soldier in the Civil War. So, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of variety.
Yeah. Excellent. Is there anything else you have coming up?
Let me see, anything else? There's Lineage, which is just got picked up by Barnholtz Entertainment. That'll be coming out this year, which is an urban drama. I think that is it. And there are a few things, like there are about four or five projects that Matt Chase and my manager and I have in the works right now that we're just inches away from closing the deal on.
Cool.
So, but yeah, and I'm trying to stay busy.
Matt's marketing. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
We know Matt very well.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it's great to have him handling my career.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the good guys, and if you got him on your side, it's a good thing.
Fantastic. Yeah, Matt and I go back a couple of years, quite a few years actually, back in 2010 to be exact. So you have a astonishing variety of a career, and it can only get better. I mean, the older you get, the more experience you get, the more better you get.
Right.
The better roles
exactly.
you get.
You know.
I guess I would like to invite you to come to our film festival. It's a horror film festival, but next Halloween. We've been inviting everybody because it's going to be a real exciting thing. 3 days of horror films and a Halloween party and what have you. So you're more than welcome to join us.
October 31st to November 2nd.
All indie horror, all the time.
Okay, cool. I would love to come to something like that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, Tomas, thanks for coming on. You have a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you so much for having me. Both you and Joanne have been great. And,
well, I've been great.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. You're in trouble now, buddy. I'm never talking. I'm gonna sit here and not say one single word ever again.
Oh my God!
Way to go, Tomas. Way to go.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun, and anytime we can talk.
Let's do that. Thanks, Tomas, for coming on. You're a great guest, and keep those fires burning. Keep that passion.
Oh, I definitely will. Thanks for having me, and you guys have a fantastic holiday.
You too. Take care.
All right, you too.
We'll see you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.